feeling ko sa yung Infuse, sila yung pinakamalakas na magde-defend sa PGS. Kasi sila yung merong magagaling at veteran players. Like, yung mga ex-teammate ko, si Calculated, tsaka si Luxuria, na alam ko magaling talaga mag-mid tsaka ADC. Pero tingin ko naman kaya namin silang talunin dahil sa experience at struggle namin sa Piltovers Finest.
Welcome back everyone to the promotions and relegations. My name is Vulgar and with me is Chisto, your shotcasters entering the best of 3 series between the two teams who have yet to prove their worth.
Yeah, like Endless Ace said back there, the struggle of Piltover's Finest. This is the final struggle, I should say, for them. The final obstacle they need to overcome if they want to potentially make it into the pro gaming series. But right now, Infuse looking very strong, very textbook game. During that game 1 and they come out on top 1-0. Let's see, will Espionage bounce back?
Let's see for the results in this game, but let us first congratulate Parsing X-Rage Esports and TNC for making their spot for the spring 2018 of the PGS. But now let's see who will next follow up and be, I would say, one of the new bloods, new rookies. We have returning teams, returning members. I would say Rebecca, one of the oldest teams, being second into Infuse. We're talking about Neat, who used to be Naga, coming back here, and also seeing Endless Ace in a new team.
Yeah, of course, we already saw one PGS team retain their spot, and Infuse Esports, they're 1 win away from imitating that performance. Let's see, will they be able to close it out in 2 games? Because the pressure of closing out a best-of series can get to the players sometimes, but they are fairly experienced. Will they be able to close out, or will Espionage force a game 3?
Yes, when we're actually talking about pressure, especially the new teams, rather than the new players, is it up to the seniors to tell them to calm down?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there that the more experienced players should guide them, give away more of their wisdom to the newer players to help push them through this pressure-packed situation, which is the best of series.
So do you think you might come back from this deficit? Because
I mean, anything can happen, really. Of course, League of Legends, very, very interesting game. We get to see these comebacks, these mini reverse sweeps, possibly. I wonder, will Espionage pull that out of their bag of tricks?
So, to put it shortly, this is the best of 3 series where right now, I would say for Infuse, they are at match point because whoever gets 2 points or clean sweep will take away the victory. But looking at the standings here, yet again, I would like to congratulate TNC Esports for defeating Sanzubu Yin and moving on to the PGS 2018 Spring. Whereas we will still be seeing whether Infused Esports will be moving on, or will it be Espionage bouncing back, or will they try and make it to be a reverse?
Yeah, so far we've seen a trend here when no team has forced the 3 games. Majority of these teams, so after they get momentum from winning the first game, they close it out the next game. And when will we begin to see 3 games here in the promotions and relegations? But with that being said, we will be moving on to the drafting phase and already denying the Fizz. Very effective pick from Calculated during that previous game.
And a zillion ban for Infuse. So, match point. What do you think? You coach players before. You coach players, I would say, entering the PGS. What are the difficulties you would say that, I mean, to the viewers out there, to educate? What do they actually feel?
I feel if you're trying to close out a series, you're minding that misplay from happening. You're pressured into making more errors, and from a player standpoint, it's always in the back of your head. You think you're confident going in, but it's always looming. Sometimes you might just end up making an error and it might cost your team the game. So for all of them, really, it's very important that they stay cool, calm, and collected throughout the course of the game. But switch up in bans here. Infused Esports not wanting to give up the Ornn for the first pick, so they ban it out themselves, even though it was a very potent pick for Iconic during that first game. And right now, both top laners already picked Maokai into Jace.
So with that being said, they had so much respect for the mid laner of Infused. Calculated, banning out the Fizz was such a threat in game 1, now removing 3 mid laners, but leaving this Jace open. Could this be potentially a bait that I would say Espionage placed up for Iconic?
I mean, for people who follow Iconic, we all know he's a very good Jace player, very potent split pusher. This is one of Iconic's comfort picks. He's very comfortable playing these Jace matchups, but I think Espionage do have a counter ready for that, and already the denial picks coming from Espionage, they don't want to deal with Neep's Tom Kenshi. Pick it away.
And they would be actually going in for the Zac. So, clever pickup for Espionage. This concludes the first picking phase. Let's move on to the second batting phase. Already removing the Leona for Infuse. They will be taking it away. Kind of weird that they would be taking talking about the Leona.
I'm very surprised that they opted to ban Leona even though there was already a support pick from Espionage. I think that's kind of a small error, but right now with no AD carries being banned in the second phase, it will mean that a lot more options for the marksmen are up. Let's see what will Infuse Esports opt to take. It will be the Virus, and I think they're just doing that so that they can save the counter pick for Calculated in the mid lane.
So they will be removing at least the Virus for Espionage, but immediately this will be endless ace going on this Ezreal with a top clutch.
Yeah, Ezreal, of course, with the Kleptomancy of the Runes Reforged, she's a very effective marksman, has been rising in popularity in the meta, but whoa, the Malzahar final pick for Espionage. Very straightforward pick here. We all know Malzahar has been rising in popularity after we saw Crown's performance on that during the previous Worlds. I mean, it's very simple champion to build, but whoa, is this a Morgana mid? Coming from Infused Esports, the mind games.
It's kind of weird that for Game 2, they're putting Calculated on a support nature role instead of putting them in a burst champion. So I guess it would be safe to say that banning out the Fizz, the LeBlanc, the Azir, and the Xerath forced it to pick on the Morgana, perhaps.
Yeah, I think Infused Esports opted for that because they did put Iconic on a carry now compared to the previous game where he was playing Ornn, more of a utility-based champion. But now that he's more on a carry role, they can allow Calculated to play the utility for this game.
So let's see, will this be Espionage's return game where they can bounce back from their defeat in Game 1? Or will it be Infused, securing their spot, moving on to the prestigious league in the whole Philippines, the PGS 2018 Spring Split?
Yeah, for this game, it's time for Espionage to toss everything, toss the kitchen sink at Infused Esports.
The kitchen sink?
Yeah, this is make or break for them. Their match point. If they want to possibly come back, they need to buckle down and just be ready for a fight.
So this will be a fight for everything Espionage work towards. I mean, the grind from the Piltover's finest, now at the spot in the promotions and relegations. I can picture the pressure because a lot of sacrifice has been made by these players. But now let's see it all in action onto the rim.
Yeah, we will be seeing Espionage now on the blue side versus Infused Esports on the red side.
And so far, this is match point again. Espionage will be fighting for your spot. Moving on to the PGS, or as we can always say, this can be a potential reverse sweep.
Yeah, and I think with the Morgana Infused, might want to look for an invade here, but that smart ward placed by Espionage to the entrance to their jungle will deny any funny stuff from Infused.
And so far, yes, Espionage, they have not yet to secure like crucial ward spots, but let's see. They're playing on the blue side. Could this be a chance for them to bounce back? Because anything can happen here. We're seeing 3 members of Infused. On the blue side of Espionage, they are trying to scout out the jungle. Perhaps go for an invade.
Oh, this is a cheesy invade. I don't think there's a response from Espionage. And whoever goes here to face check has to be very, very careful. That Dark Binding coming from Calculated, very potent level 1 ability. They need to be very careful.
Let's see though, will there be a face check? I'm pretty sure there won't be anything, but it's the fact that Infused on the red side will be picking off the blue buff from Espionage.
Yeah, I wonder how much can they actually take off of this invade. It will mean though that Iconic and Calculated will arrive late to lane. They will possibly miss a few CS. Let's see. Yeah, I think Calculated will miss 1 CS unfortunately due to that invade, but it does give Rebenga freedom in his jungle.
Let's see, maybe we might see a level 3 can coming from this Jarvan by Rebenga, but already we're seeing I'm kind of worried for the Zac. I'm getting in the jungle because when you don't have the blue buff, you don't have the experience, you will be behind in level, you'll be behind in I would say gold. So this is actually a blind invade by Infused, and it's pretty smart knowing that this Zac heavily relies on a level 3 gang.
Yeah, definitely. The Zac will be forced a bit back during this early phase, but once he gets that level 4 where he has that rank 2 in his elastic slingshot, he will still be a very effective jungler, but the small delay will affect his early pathing, and now Rebenga working towards his 3 buff start. He will possibly secure his blue buff next.
Ooh, things are looking pretty, I would say, shaky for Espionage. Maybe the fact that the blue buff has been taken away, but let's see. It's just, I would say, early to say.
Coletta's snuck up here. Will Iconic fall for the gank?
Let's see. He's going in for the warp gate. There's
Here we go.
There's the slingshot coming in. There's the lock up to the air. But the teleport will be coming in. It'll be Karkale joining the fight. Maybe a bit too late. Iconic will make it out alive. First blood, it's not yet secured, but it could be Espionage going for the downfall. There's the passive proc. Will he survive?
Kyler does have TP if he wants to save his jungler here.
That would be a double kill though.
Oh, 2 kills over to the side of Infused. Very unfortunate start for them. And the teleport coming from the Morgana, very key there in order to save Iconic during that gag. And Iconic plays that very well. He didn't even burn his flash.
And I would say the teleport play by the Maokai was a bit, I would say, risky because
Why be rooted there?
I mean, he was rooted, yes, but why risk 2 members instead of just giving away 1 kill?
Maybe it's the pressure, Vulcan. It can get to players when you're playing a best-of series.
That could be very true. Espionage is rather the new team entering the whole pro scene. And Infused is a team that has been long staying in the PGS. Not to mention they have Rebenga, one of the oldest players, and also Calculated, also a seasoned PGS player. As for Espionage, they have Bullet from, let's say, IBT and NS Ace. But is that enough for them to actually relieve the pressure from the newer blood?
Yeah, we will see if it is enough. They do have good scaling on their team comp. They have ways to start fights, and I really like that for teams. If you have engaged, you can look for these windows of opportunity where you can possibly go for these picks, try to get more kills onto your side, and look for objectives right after.
Already we're seeing Calculated on the red side of Espionage. Might go for an invade here, but I think they already know what's up. Seeing how he's not there in the mid lane, he could be roaming around the bot lane or the top lane.
Yeah, I think we just have to wait for this Malzahar to get his ultimate, because once that Nether Grasp is up, we all saw Flash Nether Grasp, very, very effective combo. It will lock down one of your members, guaranteed. Let's see, will Espionage utilize that strong ability and look for a pick, possibly come back in this early game?
Do they even have a strong late game?
I think Ezreal scales very well, and with Maokai and Zac, two of probably the most tankiest champions in the game, very hard to kill. I think late game favors Espionage a lot.
But we're talking about this Jace, the Varus. I would say Varus is a very powerful marksman in the late game. Is it more powerful than the Ezreal?
I think it comes down to how Luxuria chooses to build, because there is an option to go lethality Varus, go for more poke damage. But the Ginsu's Rageblade Varus is also a very popular build, and I think that scales better towards the late game. Varus does have that attack speed steroid in his passive. I think it just goes to show like how will Luxuria opt to build, and let's see, will he get outscaled by the Ezreal. But so far, both, as far as Varus and Ezreal, I think Ezreal scales very well for the matchup.
And when you're talking about matchup, let's say the bot lane, okay, we already know that the late game will come, and let's hope that Espionage can stall and wait for their moment to shine, but we are seeing a lot of pressure being exerted by Rebenga and Calculated. The veterans in the PGS really trying to make their lanes win their matchup.
Yeah, Calculated has been roaming a lot on this Morgana. Of course, Tormented Soil is able to shove the lane fairly quickly, and he can look for these roams, these aggressive invades with Rebenga with him.
I'm really worried for his Espionage, especially the newer players, because when I say about the PGS, the environment right now, it's more competitive. I would say the skill level bar has been raised up. Now we're talking about new players entering and maybe not knowing the full skill level of these new players.
Yeah, like you said, the competitive scene in the country has been rising constantly, and making the transition from semi-pro to pro can be very tough on some players, and right now they're getting a taste of it. facing the experienced members of Infused Esports. Let's see, will the pressure crumble or will they thrive in that pressure and possibly come out on top?
And this is actually going to really test it if they are worthy to join the ranks of PGS. And not to mention, we're seeing Rebenga, the invade that he did on the early phase of the game. Now he's level 6. Look at Gulit, he's just level 5, very behind. And now, look at that. They know his pathing. That's very fishy. He's going to go for a check. He gets rooted down. Here comes the draw before the knockoff. I think that's going to be dead count. And Rebenga takes the kill.
That was easy for Infused. The vision control right
Very
there.
predictable.
But there's more!
Cataclysm for the lockdown. Teleport coming in. Flash burned by Sunzi. We're going to be seeing Kyler joining in the fight. 3 versus 4. Infused backing off slowly. Here comes the ultimate. Closing in, but they will not engage.
Yeah, kind of over-eager there from Espionage. I don't think they could have looked for a lead, but the turn!
A bit too eager for Sunzi. Takes the chain of corruption and giving the kill to Neeb.
Yeah, not respecting the ability of Luxuria to go for a re-engage there. Kind of unfortunate by the members of Espionage. And with the Maokai teleporting bot lane, there's nobody left to defend this top lane. And Conic just has free reign to chip down this tower.
And with that said, I think he might just get the first turn of the game, giving him a huge boosting goal. But let's see, here comes Kyler and Gulit for the defense.
Yeah, he will use that acceleration gate though to get away. The tower will be saved. So that buys a bit of time for Espionage. And right now, they need to think about the late game. Being this behind in the early game, they can't force any more fights. They need to get farm, get this Maokai tanky, get the Zac tanky, get more items on our carries, and then look for fights once they scale.
And yeah, and when you're talking about the late game, will it really come for Espionage? Because when you're a new team, you see a kill score 0-4, almost 10 minutes into the game. Doesn't that break your spirit?
It can possibly, but if you want to make the jump to the pro scene,
You gotta grow up.
you gotta remove that fear from you. You need to face that pressure. You need to thrive in it.
In short, they have to mature whether they... Well, actually, they have to be forced to mature whether they like it or not. But let's see. As
That's
of
just
now,
the nature of competition, Vulcan. I mean, that's why there are promotions and relegations.
to prove their worth in the PGS. So far, the Mountain Drake is live. Take their time. It's the tankiest Drake of the game, of the entire line of the Elementals. So, again, Rebenga on a control ward. Oh, this is very difficult. And he's going in.
Oh no, Rebenga is here.
Knowing Rebenga is there. Here comes the capture and the lockdown with the collection finisher. Here goes the flash in by Hansi, but that's going to be a death sentence for Espionage. Eiko is there. Calculated. Will be taking out Hans.
There's no teleport to save the Zac here, and the counter gank from Rebenga. Very well set up there from Espionage, and the bait by Neep. Expertly
No
played.
vision. That's the difficult part.
Yeah, and it's already 6-0 up at kills for Infused Esports. The early game is going so well for them.
Oh man, so 0-6 right now on the counter, the kill score. Espionage has no turrets. Gold lead is, oh look at that, for almost 5,000. 5,500 right now, and they are securing the Mountain Trade.
Yeah, this will just help them shred down neutral objectives even faster. And with that being said, Infused Esports, they're closing in towards retaining their spot. You can't count out Espionage though. You don't want to count out him this early into the game. Comebacks do happen. Let's see, when will they come online and possibly mount a comeback?
And not to mention, it's also the fact that Espionage have made so much sacrifices going into this promotions and relegations. The grind from the Piltover's finals itself is very challenging.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
It's in a way for the players, I would say, I think they're thinking, it's not fair that I'm being judged right now, my worth, in just this day itself. So it's going to be very difficult for these players to handle the pressure.
Yeah, like you said, Piltover's finest, all that travel, moving around, can be very exhausting physically and mentally, going from tournament to tournament, trying to reach this point in the road to the PGS. And this is the final stage for them. the pressure does get to you at some point, and it's how you navigate that pressure which can really set you apart from the rest of the semi-pro teams.
And whoever shakes it off and comes back stronger and grows, I would say grows up in this, actually let go in a way. So this will actually help them mature in the PGS.
Yeah, definitely. And having that experience on your side can help you. Like earlier we saw, Iconic did say he is a rookie on Infused Esports, surrounded by these 4 veteran players. And I think that has helped him a lot in trying to navigate through that pressure.
Ooh, they're taking away another blue buff. What is happening right now? Infused have complete control of Espionage's jungle, and this is going to be a very big penalty for Gulit. Level 7 to level 8, there is that smite disadvantage.
Oh, there is quite a catch onto Rebecca.
Oh, there is the Blastco for the save there with the Glacial Fissure for the knockoff. Hans is there, suppressing down Rebecca. He does flash away, makes it out alive, leaving behind Sunzi. He's very low, gets chopped off, giving the double kill to Luxuria.
A 3-for-0 after that skirmish in the jungle. Espionage, they're falling apart right now, but will Eiko get solo killed by Maokai?
He's very low. He has no mana trying to get away, but it will be Kyler taking down Iconic.
Kyler with the 1v1 on a Maokai. Very well played by him right there. And that might be their window back into this game. It's very early into the game. It's only 13 minutes. You don't want to count a team out, but they're still very, very far behind. Let's see. Will the Maokai get more of these 1v1 kills?
I would say the gold lead right now is sitting at almost 9,000. Nearing, that's actually a huge gold lead for Espionage to actually come over or to overcome, because when you're talking about a 10,000 gold lead or nearing a 10,000 gold lead, that is something that's very difficult. Even the veterans, the pros, have a difficult time coming back.
Oh, Hunts.
And Hans right now, I think he has to really temper his aggression. He does not have any core items as of now.
Yeah, but like you said, the gold lead does get fairly irrelevant once we hit the later stages of the game. If Espionage are able to stall out and get more items on these carries, a 10k gold lead really doesn't matter at all.
Will they stall long enough though? It looks like Infused, the way they're moving, they're a bit too aggressive. I don't think they're gonna wait for the late game to happen. And when you want the spot, that sweet spot in the PGS, you're gonna do anything you can to end it as fast as you can, so you won't have any more risks.
Yeah, and I think the way that Infuse has transitioned into this mid-game, they were able to do it cleanly because their early game was very well played. Having that early invade by Rebenga, denying the experience and the gold from the Zac, really shut down the Zac early game, which is where Zac shines. And that's just a very well played read on the game by Infused Esports.
So, as we talked in the early phases of the game, the win condition for Espionage was for Endless Ace to be their carry when it comes to the late game. But as of now, I have yet to see any item secured. He picked up the Tear of the Goddess, the Sheen, and the Page. He should have had a Mana Immune by this time.
Yeah, and I think that's because the Zac had to act as a bridge towards that late game. But unfortunately, the bridge was shut down by Infuse. They broke the bridge in half.
And when you're looking at a jungler, the Zac, 0-4 right now, that is a huge statement. And seeing how Rebenga is doing so well controlling the jungle, I don't think Espionage has complete control of any objectives. And the next Drake, the Mountain Drake, will be live in 1 minute and 6 seconds.
And I don't think there's any realistic choice by Espionage to except to give up that Mountain Drake. They're gonna try and go for an invade, but unfortunately the roots of Maokai are slow and Infuse is disengaged.
And if ever they secure the second Mountain Drake, those turrets, that's going to be true damage to turrets, to neutral monsters. That's going to be very difficult for Espionage to siege because those turrets won't last if Infuse takes away two Mountain Drakes.
Yeah, and not just the turrets, but the Baron as well. We've seen Infuse during the previous game. Their Baron play was very clean, and now the Rift Herald being spawned in the mid lane. This will possibly crack open the base of Espionage. Will they hold?
I don't think they will. That's a Rift Herald chunking down the HP of that turret very low. Here comes Kulin and the Righteous Glory on
Rebenga.
He gets suppressed, but he will be surviving. But he does capture Neep on the turret. Looks like the Juria will be taking down Kyler with a double kill for Sunzi.
There's so much damage coming from Luxuria right now, and with that engage being botched, by the members of Infused Esports. It might mean the inhibitor at 17 minutes, and they're just running away with this game.
So Espionage, they will try and defend this inhibitor, but they cannot. When you're talking about a virus that's 503, has the Creature's Rage Play, that's very, very difficult, and you cannot do anything when this Zac is so behind, does not have the items, no defensive, just has the Center Hawk enchantment for his jungle item.
Yeah, but with that being said, Infused Esports will not greed for more buildings here. They will back off the inhibitor and transition that into this free Mountain Drake, really. I don't think Espionage can challenge that.
So with that, if they could challenge it, I would say it would be a game ender.
Oh no, Sunzi.
Sunzi for the face check. He should try and know his environment properly, because this is something that when you lost so much control of your jungle and you go for a ward, that's a death wish.
Yeah, that's such a feels bad moment when you're a support and then you face check on Morgana. She gives you the AFK warning with her Dark Binding. Just not gonna move for the next 3 seconds. So very unfortunate face check there, costs him his life. And right now, Infused Esports looking very good. Into retaining their spot, they're up 12-1 in kills and 2 Mountain Drakes. They just have total control over this game.
And the next Drake is again another Mountain Drake. Make it 3 stacks, then whoop-de-doo. That's going to be an easy Baron plus a turret. That's going to be in for a score. And looking at the base of Espionage, they have 2 Nexus turrets left. I don't think that's going to last when you're talking about a Varus and a Jace.
Yeah, I think Infused Esports will begin setting up towards this Baron area now. See, they're pushing towards the blue side jungle of Espionage. They're going to prepare their vision, possibly take down the tier 2 tower, and then transition that straight into the Baron, which will be spawning in less than a minute.
Okay, with less than a minute left, Espionage, can they seize an opportunity at this deficit of, let's check it out, 13,000, 14,000 gold.
Oh, they're going to go for
deficit.
something.
Right, just going to pop Sunzi going in onto Rebanga. Everything is onto Rebanga, but he just flashes away from that.
Luxuria!
Living Luxuria, free to hit, getting the godlike spree, and Rebanga returning the fight, taking down Sunzi.
Rebenga is so tanky, and you toss everything as the full tank Jarvan and not able to take him down. It just gives Luxuria so much time to shred through your entire team. And Vulcan, I don't think Baron will be spawning. I think Infused will just try to end the game here.
With the second inhibitor down for Espionage, Infused with 5 members alive, and Tyler returning in 5 seconds. Can they defend this incoming wave?
I don't think they can, Vulcan. This is such a struggle. Luxuria is knocking down these turrets very quickly, and the engage unfortunately misses for Colette and the more minions. Infused Esports, there are a few Nexus turrets, but they will back off here. Espionage, they're delaying what I could say is the inevitable here.
Yeah, when you're talking about Espionage going for a more secure game, and you want to go for, I would say, 100% without a risk, not a 50-50. You would want to back up in the Baron or want to have a clean game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go textbook League of Legends here. They're gonna reset and possibly move towards that Baron area. And with the Baron being on the Infused Esports side, once they do secure it, Espionage, they're gonna have such a difficult time trying to defend their members. They do scale to the late game, but right now, they're just so far off from it, and I don't think it's gonna reach that point the way Infused Esports is playing.
And the way they're playing is very, I would rather say, calculate as you said, textbook.
Calculated.
Calculated. But let's say the Baron is live. Let's see if Infused will secure the Baron and possibly end the game for Espionage and ending the dream of Espionage entering the PGS.
Yeah, Infused Esports have looked very good throughout this game. With a lead this big, it'll take a monumental miracle. Oh, Luxuria flashed in. Whoa.
Wanted to go for a kill onto the Tomcat Sunzi, but right now, the Baron is up for the kill.
Yeah, they're gonna take this down very, very quickly. Against this Rage Blade Varus and 2 Mountain Drakes, this Baron just falls down so fast, and now they'll move towards what could possibly be the final push of the series. They're all moving towards this top lane.
And with that said, Espionage, I don't think they can try and defend this incoming Baron wave. Not to mention, look at the deficit in gold and kill score, not to mention the items. Oh my god, Hans just secured his just first main item, so let's see how will Espionage defend his coming wave, but
I don't think Espionage can do it, Vulcan. The members of Infused Esports, they just deal so much damage. They're so tanky. Rebenga, he's still alive.
everyone is focusing on Rebenga, but they don't know the fact that Rebenga is the tanker, and with that said, Espionage has nothing to give, no more bullets, so Infused will just continue to ball and uncalculated with a two-man ult stun, and with that said, I think Infused Esports may secure and will be moving on to the next stage in the 2018 Spring Split.
Yeah, I think this will be the final siege, Vulcan. There's nobody left to defend the base of Espionage. Infused Esports 17-1 up in kills. They will retain their spot in the Pro Gaming Series. Congratulations.
And with that being said, congratulations to Infuse Esports securing and still remaining in the PGS. See you in the next split. But for Espionage, let's see you bounce back and potentially try again from the next split.
Yeah, unfortunately for Espionage, their road to the PGS does end here, and that was a very clean game from Infused Esports, and I think in the end, experience, it worked over. The pressure did not get to Infused Esports. Unfortunately for Espionage, next split is up for them if they do hope to try to make it into PGS again.
Their dreams are not yet crushed. They can always
Yeah.
try next split, and let's hope for a better future for Espionage and hope that they've learned from this experience. But let us congratulate Infused Esports moving on to the PGS 2018 Spring Split. Congratulations, finishing up and proving their worth. So with that being said, we'll be having a short break. Once again, we have been your Shotcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me was Chisto. Moving on to the next match after the break. Finisher! There goes flash in by Hansi, but that's going to be a death sentence for Espionage. Eiko is there, calculated, will be taking out Hans.
There's no teleport to save the Zac here, and the counter gank
The
from
blast
Rebenga.
kill for the same game. When he catches Finisher for the knockoff, Hans is there, suppressing down Rebenga. He does flash away, makes it out alive, leaving behind Sunsi. He's very low, gets chopped off, giving gets double killing, and the match is blowing on
Oh, Rebenga?
He gets suppressed, but he will be surviving. But he does capture Neep on the turn. Looks like the Juria will be taking down Kyler with a double kill for Sunzi.
There's so much damage. They're so tanky. Rebenga, he's still alive.
Everyone is focusing on Rebenga, but they don't know the fact that Rebenga is the tanker, and with that said, Espionage has nothing to give, no more bullets, so Infused will just continue to ball and uncalculated with a two-man ult stun, and with that said, I think Infused Esports may secure and will be moving on to the next stage. Congratulations to Infused Esports securing and still remaining in the PGS. See you in the next split. But for Espionage, let's see you bounce back and potentially try again from the next split.
Yeah, unfortunately.